The Fluttershy Effect by smxsonic.
I can't forgive her,
Fluttershy said, her voice the most commanding any pony has ever heard it. The discussion about what to do with Starlight Glimmer after her time-traveling shenanigans came to a halt. The 5 other ponies all stared wide-eyed at the Pegasus from each of their crystal thrones.
Fluttershy, I'm surprised,
Rarity commented.
I would have expected you of all ponies to try and defend her.
You was the one that was totally into her town,
Rainbow Dash said.
Well, yes, but this is the most horrible thing any pony has ever done,
Fluttershy countered.
You all heard Twilight. She broke us apart and Equestria suffered for it.
Sure she did, but that's all time travel. Twilight stopped her and there's no harm done.
You were able to forgive Discord even after all he's done,
Pinkie Pie said.
And he made Rarity fall in love with the rock.
We don't talk about Tom, remember?
Rarity said through gritted teeth.
Discord is a different case. He needed to learn friendship,
Fluttershy said.
The same with Starlight,
Twilight finally said.
But Twilight, Starlight had a friend, and from what you've told us, she made no effort to even make contact with Sunburst.
The whole table went quiet, each pony contemplating this point. Starlight's story did seem a bit small. It wasn't tragic enough to justify trying to steal cutie marks. But maybe that was only the starting point. Maybe there was more to the story than what Twilight saw.
I'm sorry,
Fluttershy said, trying to hide behind her mane.
I still can't forgive her, but I will go along with whatever you guys say we should do.
Okay, Fluttershy,
Twilight responded.
Your input is as valuable as any pony's.
I can't say I blame you, Sugar Cube. Just to my surprise and coming from you and all, Applejack drawled. The rest of the ponies around the table mumbled similar sentiments and went back to their discussion. It was decided Starlight Glimmer would stay in Ponyville and learn friendship from Princess Twilight and her friends. Fluttershy had requested a one-on-one talk with Starlight after she was oriented in Ponyville. Starlight Glimmer walked slowly to Fluttershy's cottage, wondering why Fluttershy of all ponies would want alone time with her. Fluttershy was the spy when they overthrew her town. Maybe she wanted to talk about that and apologize.
No, none of that. They're your friends now,
Starlight said to herself in an attempt to calm herself. Starlight rapped on Fluttershy's door, prompting a
"Come in"
from in the cottage. Entering the cottage, she saw Fluttershy sitting at a table with a tea set laid out. There were place settings for 2 ponies.
Hello, Starlight,
Fluttershy said.
Please come in.
Starlight walked nervously to the table and sat there, accepting a cup of tea.
Starlight, I have a confession to make,
Fluttershy said, now that pleasantries were over. Her head was turned to the floor, mulling over what she was about to say next. Fluttershy started and then took a deep breath.
I remember everything.
Oh, well, I guess it still happened recently, but I'm still making amends right now. I promise I'm not the same pony that locked you and your friends in that shed,
Starlight pleaded.
No, Starlight, you don't understand.
Fluttershy's mane covered one of her eyes, not from fear, but to denote the grave nature of the conversation.
I remember everything. I remember you telling those bullies not to tease me, but I also remember all of the different worlds that were created from you.
What?
Starlight's eyes went wide, trying to process what the pink-maned pony just said.
But that's impossible!
Fluttershy shook her head.
Discord gave me the ability to retain memories of alternate timelines, so that I can remember some of the pranks he's pulled involving time travel.
Starlight was about to ask who Discord was, but the more pressing issue was Fluttershy.
Of course I didn't remember every timeline as it happened, but it all just came rushing back as things went back to normal. Time travel is complicated that way.
Fluttershy explained.
I'm so sorry,
Starlight said, her voice catching.
I'm sure you are, Starlight, but I don't think I can ever forgive you.
Fluttershy declared.
Fluttershy.
Starlight's eyes were watering. There was nothing she could say. She could only apologize.
In the Crystal War, I was shearing sheep for the military. When I wasn't doing that, I was a medic. I was there when Rainbow Dash had to get her wing replaced. She lost a lot of abilities that day. She could never be a Wonderbolt anyway. Sombra took care of them a few months into the war. She screamed in agony when they attached the metal wing.
Fluttershy left the table to compose herself, her eyes watering. Starlight sat there, too shocked at what her actions had done.
I felt so happy when I saw Twilight in the Changeling War. I couldn't show it, but for a moment I thought my dreams were real after all. When the Kura put that salve on them, my heart jumped. Not only were my dreams real, but one of my best friends came to rescue me. Of course I had to cover her and I was struck down.
What can I do?
Starlight said, tears falling from her eyes.
I only saw one future. I didn't know how bad I made things.
I'm not sure if there's anything you can do. I don't think I can forgive any of the horrible worlds that I've endured. I've never felt this way. I've never truly wished a pony to be banished to Tartarus. Even then, it might be too good for you.
Fluttershy said.
I think I need to leave,
Starlight said as she walked out of the cottage.
I promise I will find a way to make it up to you.
Fluttershy said nothing as she closed the door. Starlight started weeping softly as she walked home. It was the next day and Twilight was in the mirror room, fiddling with the portal apparatus, growing increasingly frustrated with the fact that, for some reason, the mirror went dormant.
Oh,
Twilight groaned.
I hope you're okay, Sunset.
There was a knock at the door. Twilight called for the visitor to enter while trying to tighten another screw on the machine. Fluttershy walked in, her face somber from the previous night. The portal apparatus sparked as Twilight looked to Fluttershy.
Hey, Fluttershy!
Twilight greeted.
Sorry, I've been tinkering with the mirror. Sunset Shimmer sent me a lot of messages before the whole time travel thing, but the portal's not opening for some reason.
Oh, I hope she's okay,
Fluttershy said.
I'm sure she can take care of herself,
Twilight reasoned.
Although I'd be lying if I said I wasn't worried.
Fluttershy and Twilight looked to the mirror, which gave one last defiant spark.
So, Fluttershy, what's going on?
Twilight asked, deciding to distract herself from her project.
Oh, I just wanted to, apologize,
Fluttershy said, trying to hide herself in her mane.
For what?
Twilight said, her head tilting in confusion.
For not sticking up for you when we were invaded by changelings.
Twilight laughed.
Don't worry, Fluttershy, you weren't yourself.
But I was. I had dreams of all the times we spent together. When I became a fashion model. Or even when we visited the Hooffields and the McColls.
Fluttershy rambled.
Wait, you're speaking as if you actually remember all of those timelines.
Fluttershy nodded meekly.
But how?
Twilight sputtered before coming to a realization and lowered her eyelids.
Discord?
Twilight asked laconically.
Discord,
Fluttershy responded in kind.
Oh, Fluttershy, I'm so sorry. No wonder you found it so hard to forgive Starlight,
Twilight said while hugging Fluttershy.
Am I a bad pony for not forgiving Starlight?
Fluttershy asked.
No, of course not. Not after what you've been through.
Twilight said, entering what was affectionately called Princess Mode.
But you're willing to make things work, right?
Twilight asked. Fluttershy nodded.
Good. Who knows, Starlight may surprise you, like Discord has surprised you.
Fluttershy returned more or less to her normal self, too shy to protest that point. The mirror then sprang to life as the portal opened.
Oh, finally!
Twilight grumped before looking back to Fluttershy.
Will you be okay here?
Fluttershy nodded as Twilight started to flow above the ground.
Good, this shouldn't be long.
Twilight zoomed into the mirror, leaving Fluttershy alone, thinking about Starlight Glimmer and what this meant for the status quo of Ponyville. Hello and welcome back to Common Time as Visual Pony, everyone, and once again I will remind you that you can support Pony and Wolf Productions through the links down in the description below. Every dollar helps is needed and very much appreciated, and also helps to keep the lights on around here, and you want to keep the lights on around here, right? Because if the lights go out, then we can't record more stories. That's just, just the truth of it. Anyhow, let's get into the meat of the story, and because I cannot speak for this, like this for much longer. Okay, let's get into the meat of this. As you will see in the behind the scenes video, I did not review this story before I started recording, but oh my word, this story is getting dark. So I must say, I also kind of like to see this explored. What if Fluttershy was actually remembering all of those timelines? How would she deal with Starlight? How would things play out? You know, I would be very interested in that. Because Fluttershy, our cute little gentle Fluttershy, I'm fairly certain that Starlight would not come, as we say in German, not get onto a green twig. That basically means she would never get a foot off the ground. She'd be stagnant in Fluttershy's eyes. She would never be able to change, never be able to redeem herself. But what do you think? Let me know down in the comments below. What do you think how Fluttershy would react if she really remembered all of those timelines? Anyhow, my name is Visual Pony, and I'm signing off, hoping that this video will find you well in body and mind.